Hey now, it's Ruben with Help Find the Others. How you guys doing? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's out enjoying some outdoors if you can. At least in the Midwest, it's super nice out today. Um, it has been like super hot, so it's like back to kind of normal June weather, and it's really good. As always, grateful for you know everyone out there. Um, my last video talking about you know just kind of the not so great things going on in my life or whatever. Um, I got a lot of messages and comments on the video and stuff like that I'm really grateful for. And it's amazing what the positive energy, receiving positive energy from people um, as little as, a comment or an email can really kind of just keep pushing you in the positive direction, because I really like, as far as my back goes, that's been like just getting better and better kind of since I made that video. So, um, I know after this summer, I'll hopefully be back to 100% and, but also more aware of how far I can, you know, take it and chilling out when it's starting to hurt again and not push through like I did. Cause I really do think that's what made it, all so bad, was just continuing to push through. But anyway, um, that wasn't why I wanted to make a video today. Today I wanted to make a video, and honestly, I feel bad because I should have made this video probably 6 months ago. But I wanted to talk about the Bitcoin bear market, and bear market and bad, you know, markets just across the all financial markets, and what's going on. So, and why I mean that I should have made this video 6 months ago is I really, for as much as I've studied economics the past 5 years or whatever, um, I really can't make heads or tails of, like getting good intuition as to what's going to happen. Uh, not with any, you know, amount of accuracy that should give me like 100% conviction in any investment. Let's put it that way. Um, but the thing about Bitcoin is that I really wanted to see happen at the end of last year was the pattern that is formed by the halving cycle. And what I mean by that is the where Bitcoins come from the miners, the reward for solving or filling the block or whatever, um, uh, the amount of Bitcoin you get per block, uh, roughly every 4 years. It's not by calendar; it's by every certain number of blocks that get mined. Um, gets cut in half. But anyway, that roughly ends up being every 4 years. And so I was, last December was 4 years from uh, the last, top in Bitcoin. The last time it was 20,000, which is, where it is today. But in between there, it went to almost 60,000. And it did that about 4 years after um, the last peak. Now the halving is in a couple years or in a year maybe. I don't know. You can look that up. But regardless, I'm just worried about what's the top of the cycle, so that uh, I know I'm not like FOMO buying, when it gets crazy, because that's why tops form in markets, is because just the emotion of the fear of missing out is just at its fever pitch. And there's other manipulation that goes at play there, but most charts, most cycles, most financial things are a pat. Or, they're it's a graphic that demonstrates the psychology, of the herd, basically. Um, And so, when I started like really researching that and that part of Bitcoin and its hype cycles and stuff like that, I was like, I bet this is every 4 years because it's managed by code. There's no people that can get in there and change that. That every 4 years, there's basically a roadmap to know when to buy and sell, and holding in 4 year chunks or whatever. And that's what happened. I mean, it might be dumb luck. It may be that Bitcoin's so young that there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens like that, and there's a lot of I can't think of the term, but there's a lot of like manifestation almost of like the whole market wants that to happen, so that's what happens. Regardless, out of all the crazy nonsense that's gone on in the world of finance since 2020 and leading up to it, the only thing that seemed to make sense, coming up and that just happened and kind of seems to be confirmed is that 4 year cycle. And everything seems to be revolving around that now. As Bitcoin becomes a bigger asset, it's like its cycles impact, the broader macro economy that, on face value wouldn't be involved with Bitcoin. But regardless, that's gonna that the confirmation of the 4 year cycle, kind of happening the same way for Bitcoin gives me just more conviction in it. So the reason I'm making this video though is because we've hit, I get the most comments from people that don't have Bitcoin or don't really understand it or don't pay attention to it. I get the most comments and texts and messages and whatever. I get the most from people at the top and the bottom when the emotion is the strongest. When it's real hypey, people hit me up, and when it when people are real scared, people hit me up. And then the in between seems to be kind of boring, other than for like the hardcore investing nuts that I talk to all the time. So I'll just try to go through like the biggest questions people ask me, right? And the first one is so is now a good time to buy, right? And that's such a hard question to ask or to answer because I don't know. What's your time frame? Are you trying to like turn this investment around, whether you're talking about Bitcoin or other cryptos? Are you trying to turn it around and make a quick buck? Then at the top, it's definitely not, and when people, message me with like FOMO, like, should I finally buy in on this shit? Right when it's at the top, I usually say no. When it's at the bottom, yeah, because I guarantee there's another, just like 20,000 in 2017 wasn't the top, 60,000 in 2021 is not going to be the top either. And at some point, it may take 4 years, it may take 8 years, it may take 10 years. I can guarantee you that if you buy Bitcoin now, even if it goes down to $1,000, that if you hold long enough, it will go up in value, But the other question is like, do you really understand Bitcoin and what it represents and what it could become, 20, 30, 40 years from now? If that's the case, then the name of the game should just be, if you believe in that future, of it being the new gold and stuff like that, then you don't even look at the price. Just buy it, dollar cost average into it, and call it a day. Don't even think about it. You know, um, so I tell people that all the time. That's my main advice. It really is just dollar cost average and whatever. If you're trying to make bigger stabs and stuff like that, well then yes, absolutely, now is a good time to buy. You want to buy when people are afraid to sell or to buy it. And likely I don't sell any Bitcoin. I've bought some things with it, but because I really believe in the long-term future and just like the immense potential it has, and compared to the fiat world. Um, but if you are looking to speculate on it and sell it, buy low, sell high, then when you're afraid to to sell it is when you should sell it. You have to work to beat the charts. You have to work. You have to counter trade the charts, and that's the way you do it is by understanding your emotions and uh, and going against the flow like that. And that takes time in the market. So they always talk about timing the market or time in the market. Understanding your emotions and swing trading or doing whatever, um, you need time in the market to hone those skills. It's just like meditation, basically. Like you're not gonna get the deep, meaningful meditation the first time you try it, but the longer you practice it and get good at observing your thoughts and your emotions and controlling them better, it, you know, uh, investing and trading and stuff like that, it's all the same way. Uh, the other question people ask me is, yeah, one one thing that I always get, and it's only at the bottom, not at the top, is, oh, I bet you wish you would have sold your Bitcoin, that kind of thing. And it's like, no, I don't. I will never have enough Bitcoin. Like, it's one of the only areas of my life where I'm greedy. That every little fractional amount I keep track of, and I try to end every day with more satoshis than I woke up with, and whether that's 100 or a million, that's just my financial goal at this point. I don't see anything else that I have any sort of a stronger conviction of. And as for what I mentioned before about why that is. Um, so but that always comes out at the bottom. People are like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my 401k went down 30%, but your crypto portfolio went down 80 and whatever, and that just that shit comes out. But those are the same people that um, when it's at the top, they'll be like, "Oh hell yeah, how much is your Bitcoin worth?" They always want to know. And like one of the other rules of being a Bitcoiner is like, don't ask, and I'm not going to tell if about how much I have. That's uh, none of your business. Can I see your bank statement? Like it's the same kind of thing. Um, I'm not a braggart on it. Uh, a few close friends and my wife are the only people that I'm honest with about how much I have. Um, I don't even tell my kids. So yeah, but those are those are messages I get not from people from YouTube, but like friends and stuff like that. I get those two questions. Another question people always ask is like, oh, I think I missed the boat on Bitcoin. What do you think about blah 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 token or whatever, or they'll be like, hey, have you ever heard of this project? And like then they they're like, it's a guaranteed blah 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 return, and give some sort of cockamamie uh, way that you can stake it or earn it, and they're all Ponzi nomics of rather sketchy companies and stuff like that. um, and my response to everybody that asks about other cryptos is, I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, right? Um, I do think the world will be multi-blockchain, multi-token, multi-NFT, like what we're seeing now is like the dot-com era, where like a lot of this shit's going to go away and not be anything, but the structure, the environment is here to stay and will be used. And I think Bitcoin will be the underlying unit of value for that environment, and thus, becomes a unit of value um, in the global economic thing. I think central banks will stay and continue to be shitty and continue to divide or make the divide between the haves and have-nots bigger. Um, I think there will be central bank digital currencies. I think there will be fiat. I think a lot of what we have today will remain. The difference is that the outlet valve, the escape hatch of Bitcoin, um, will just become more and more robust as time goes on. And the sooner you take um, that escape hatch, the softer your landing is going to be on, whatever counter cultural, financial situation you find yourself in, the sooner the better with Bitcoin. The other cryptos, it's pure speculation. If you think it's a good idea, um, if you um, believe in the team, stuff like that, there's no reason you should let anyone shame you into, um, you know, into putting your money, whatever, or doing with your money whatever you want to do with it. But in the unregulated, high-paced, move fast, break things environment of blockchain development, there's a lot of scams and there's a lot of things that are going to fall flat on their face, even if they're not scams. Um, and it's just, man, I, I try not to say, hey, that's a good one, unless it's one I know is a blatant scam. I try not to talk people out of it either. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll look into it, and I probably do. I probably put the coin in my price tracker just to follow it in the future and see if they were right and stuff like that. But the problem with the altcoins is they play into that 4-year cycle I was talking about too, in that when Bitcoin goes down at the end of that cycle, they just get demolished and some of them never come back. And it's a Bitcoin in general is playing a game of financial hot potato, but these altcoins or shit coins, they're a nuclear potato. I mean, it's when you get caught holding that thing, you're done. That's game over. Especially if you're over invested and leveraged. You've been borrowing money to do risky stuff. It's I try to be a little warning, but I'm not a total boomer about it. I have altcoins. I'll make a video about how I got out of debt, but I got out of 15 years worth of crippling debt by speculating on altcoins. It'd be pretty shitty of me to turn around and tell people not to mess with that. But it was a pretty big gamble I took, but I kind of had nothing to lose at that point. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of questions, a lot of emails about altcoins, and that's just my advice is do your own research, be prepared to lose everything, and good luck. And whatever you have to suggest to me, I'll look it up, but it takes something has to keep bumping into me for me to finally go, okay, I'll buy some of this stuff. And I'll tell you a little story about Luna, Terra Luna stablecoin project, that some friends of mine have been telling me about it over and over and over again. And damned if I didn't buy the top of that thing. And within a month, it went to absolutely zero, and it was a complete shit show. You couldn't even sell it. You couldn't even get out early. It was just a total scam. Scam or just a complete fuck up. But whatever it was, what's crazy about it is that Terra Luna collapse or whatever lost more money for people, like more money just vaporized because the token just went to zero. It wasn't even people selling it. It's just they hyperinflated it to being useless. They sold theirs way before it started happening, like the founders of the company. Yeah, like it lost more money than Lehman Brothers, and it wasn't on the news and stuff like that. But it's like, you think that didn't affect everybody, because the stock market's been shit, like it affected all that stuff, right? And I don't know. That's the problem with like coins like that is without doing a lot of research, everything is at risk of that except Bitcoin because it's really isn't centralized, and like they can't change the protocol and print a bunch, and all that stuff really becomes really important when you start researching it. Bitcoin, with the way it's mined and the way it's developed and all of that, it moves really slow because it doesn't want to break things. All of the other companies, they're trying to move fast and break things. Bitcoin is just software, and it has this like cult that's developed around it that is like super protective of it. And So, you know, every discussion I have with people that ask me about altcoins is, do you have Bitcoin? How much Bitcoin do you have? You know, well, I guess I don't ask how much Bitcoin do you have, but you know, I try to talk them into work towards getting one whole Bitcoin. If that takes you a whole cycle, if that takes you 2 cycles, doesn't matter. Work towards that goal and then establish a shitcoin portfolio that you trade around and speculate on, it's a lot more fun when you know you got a backdrop of being one of the 21 million that will ever exist of these coins. You know, and the richest people, the biggest whales, keep buying up more and more of this, more and more of the Bitcoin. And so if you can get your hands on one and don't keep it on an exchange, and you've got it, and only a handful of people know how to get it from you or get it if you die, like that's where you want to be before you really start speculating on the shit coins. Now, one of the strategies to get to that one Bitcoin is by trading shit coins around. So, you know, I understand if you got to do that, that you don't have enough extra income to invest in Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin. If you gotta play in the shitcoin casino to get that Bitcoin, well, I understand that. I had to do that too, you know. Um, but if you can work your way into having a like a what am I trying to think of? If you can work your way into having the emotional control to take your profits from shitcoin into Bitcoin, move that off in exchange into cold storage, into a hardware wallet or whatever. Um, like that's you know that's what a lot of people have to do. But the problem is, like, when you start looking at everything as dollars, and say you make a lot on some Ethereum or whatever, and you buy a car or you know buy a guitar or whatever, like that's not thinking like a Bitcoiner, you know, and you're probably going to get caught up in the psychology of the market cycles and stuff like that. And so, you know, I try to always turn every altcoin conversation into a, you know, advertisement for Bitcoin. Um, but um, well, I think you know, those are the main questions I get, and if if anyone has any other questions, you know, don't be afraid to email me or leave a comment or whatever. I'll probably you know, a lot of people that talk about Bitcoin and crypto go away in a bear market, and you know, this bear market's probably here to stay for another year. You know, don't feel rushed into like trying to figure this stuff out now if you haven't been involved with it. Um, but now's the time to learn. You know, now that the best investment to make in a bear market is in your own education. Um, and a lot of the people that provide the best content for crypto and investing and education in general kind of tend to go away when the getting isn't good anymore, you know. And you know, I don't want to do that. Uh, I've talked about Bitcoin too much during the good times that I probably need to, um, you know, stick with whoever is trying to figure out what to do and follows me or whatever. I need to stick with you for the bad times. So, like, if anyone hasn't needs any advice or anything like that, or just a investing pep talk or whatever, like, yeah, just hit me up. I don't mind talking to people on the phone and Zoom calls or Skypes, whatever. You know, you know, I've said it before, but like part of my whole thing with, uh, you know, preaching for, uh, you know, just freedom in general, is how important financial freedom is, and I I didn't get financial freedom until far too late in life, and you know, I definitely see the importance of it now, and I I want to do whatever I can to help anybody get there, and don't be afraid to reach out if you think that I'm knowledgeable on the subject and can help, you know, give you some insight. I'm not an expert or anything, but um, I'm I'm available and willing to talk finances to anyone who wants. Uh, I'm not a certified financial advisor though, so much like this video, any advice I give privately is purely for entertainment as well. But yeah, that's probably too much rambling about money, so I probably lost some of you. But um, I don't know. I'm hoping everyone, if it's nice out and you can get outside and get in some nature, or a city park, whatever you can, I recommend it. It's good for what ails you. So till next time, thanks for helping find the others.